Welcome to the Owners Club podcast, the show where we open the doors to real conversation with real business owners. I'm your host, Sean Ziari. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent. Actually, to jump on the bandwagon of Miss stuff, you were recommended. Actually, you have not gotten back to me, but we are in an accountability group with Jeff and Lori McLeister, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So apparently over sorry, I'm trying to dim my monitor so I'm not reflecting here too much.
No.
Uh, over the Monterey gang up that we have an accountability group set up, and
I am
you're in that
so glad
you
mentioned because
yeah.
now I see it. I missed it this
No, that's fine.
yesterday, right?
Yeah, that's all
Oh,
right.
I'm so sorry.
Jeff and Lori missed it too, so they had apparently some health issues. So we're just going to shoot for next Sunday, unless if you even want to participate. But
I
when
would
you
love to participate, but I'll be in Japan, so I might
okay,
be, depending on what my,
sure. What are you doing? Flying? You're a pilot, if
no,
I
no.
recall correct?
My wife and I are taking our three daughters. We're going to go to Japan for 10 days.
Excellent.
And we actually, this is the first time we're trying a group, like a tour group. It's
Okay.
called Gate One. And
Hmm.
we're excited. I'm just going to spend time with my daughters. Everybody's out of the house. It's time for me to connect with my little babies who are now
Is that the
20.
four of them behind you? You got a picture up there over your shoulder. Is that your
I
wife and three
do.
daughters?
That's a little dated, but my old baby, Layla, is on top. She just graduated from high school. And my wife is in the middle, and with our oldest and middle daughter, Audrey and Emma.
Very cool. Very cool.
What about you? Where are you right now?
I am currently sitting in Lansing, Michigan. I
Nice.
float between mid-Michigan and Nashville, Tennessee. So it depends on, what day of the month you catch me as to where I'm at. So, but
Yeah.
all of our properties happen to be in Michigan at the moment. So
And did you go what do you say, Lansing? Is that Michigan State?
it is Michigan State. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at Michigan State for a while, but I ended up going out to Berkeley College of Music in Boston
Well,
was where I ended up
that
going.
doesn't suck. So, what do you play? What's your
No,
specialty?
yeah, I was a,
Or
a
is it
drummer.
singing? A
No,
drummer.
not definitely not singing. Yeah, if there was a weak point, it would be my singing. So
I know my kids tell me, please, Dad,
yeah, yeah,
don't
don't even
say.
try.
Yeah. Well, do
Yeah,
you know
there's
Amy?
this
Amy
uh
Rand?
Amy Rand. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I was just talking to her a couple of days ago. Fellow, um,
OC member. Yeah,
yeah, fellow OC
yep,
member and a graduate of Michigan State, Spartan.
yep, yep.
Oh,
So the owners club is very strong in Michigan. They have a lot of members here in Michigan. So
how many members do we have? It's a trivial
oh
question.
geez, just for the OC stuff, I want to say probably 12 down in Detroit area mostly, but
And you know every
spattered.
one of them?
I don't know every one of them, but I've strived to meet every one of them.
Awesome.
So,
So in the owners club, who do you work the most with?
John Peckel, do you know him?
I know. Yeah.
Okay. Kelly Carver and Rod, right? And Gabrielle. So,
Nice. That's a powerful group.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it is. And ironically, okay, so I joined Sub 2 back in 2022, and I was very frustrated because there didn't seem to be a Michigan group in Lansing, right? So I felt I was very alone. And at that point in time, I think there was only one other person down in Nashville. So I was kind of frustrated in a networking standpoint. And then I ended up going to SquadUp 2 years ago, the first SquadUp, and I sat next to Gabriella without even knowing it, right? So like we had rushed for the front row and we sat down, and of course you're networking while you're sitting there, and I'm like,
Of course.
I'm from Michigan. She's like, I'm from Michigan. I'm like, really? That's crazy. That I right? She happens to lead the group down to Detroit, but Detroit's far enough away. It's 2 hour drive that I can't just jump down there for a meetup if I have to, or it's out of the way from me driving to Nashville, right? So Detroit's kind of at 9 o'clock, and I'm going 6 o'clock. Um, So I try to make their meetups as much as I can,
Mhm.
but ironically, they tend to schedule them about the times that I'm supposed to be in Nashville. So we uh, we had crossed paths for about
What's
a
your
year.
connection to Nashville? Oh,
Yep.
okay. You were frozen up. I couldn't hear you, or the picture's not moving. There you go. Now we're
Okay.
back.
So let's see. What'd you hear last?
That you were going to invest $500,000 in my project. Isn't that what the?
I could
Wasn't that the
probably
last
swing about
thing?
100. I could probably swing about 100 if you catch me on the right day in liquidity. So,
Nice.
um,
Speak
yeah.
some more about your prowess there. Tell me what you're
Well,
working on and what are you doing?
I've got 120 wrapped up in a land contract that's supposed to be liquid here fairly shortly. And then I've got a fix and flip going with John that is going on the market this week. I've got a different fix and flip here locally that's going on it's already on the market, went on the market last week. So yeah, my liquidity will if everything goes well, pretty liquid probably in August sometime. So, and looking to get into multifamily. If you Is your deal a multifamily deal? Because
I'm looking to raise capital for several RV parks and mobile home parks.
okay, yep, I'm talking
Well,
to
I'll be
Matt
talking to
Poachman
you
about
in
his
August.
RV stuff. So,
Yeah.
right,
Doesn't John have a RV park in Lansing?
not in Lansing, up but just I think west of or east of Flint. So not too far away.
That's
About a
right,
90-minute,
Flint. Yeah.
yeah, about a 90-minute drive from me. And I tried that actually was coming about at that first squad up, and I tried to get in on that one, but you know, they didn't really need that, so we got involved in a couple fix and flips down in the Detroit area. So
Yeah, he's dynamic. He's great to
yeah,
work with.
constantly going. So,
He's
good
constantly
for him.
growing.
I want to get in. I want to get involved in as many deals as I can. So it just so happens that right now all of them are tied up and all of
Yeah.
them are kind of coming to fruition. So everything all at once in one thing. So how long have you been doing real estate?
Uh, I would love to answer that when you invite me to your podcast or to a meeting.
Fair
So
enough.
today is about you, my
Fair
friend.
enough, Sean.
I
All right.
ask all the questions, sir.
All
I'm
right.
gonna
Nail
put
me
the
to the
light on
cross then.
you. This is a yeah interrogation. No, I'm kidding.
All right. Well,
So
you had asked me how I got involved or how I ended up down in Nashville, and the music thing was the Nashville thing for the last 25
okay,
years. So,
nice.
yeah,
Well, I forgot to mention that I actually played drums in high school.
get out.
I had a garage band, the Seven C.
Nice.
Yep, the Seven Cs. We jammed for a bit. Then I got
In what
distracted.
area?
I
In what?
grew up in Round Rock, Texas, in
Okay.
Austin. Yeah, just outside of Austin, Texas. Texas is,
Excellent.
yep.
All right. So are you familiar at all with the Dallas Fort Worth area?
Yeah, I was flight instructing for Southwest in Dallas Fort Worth area for the last 3.5 years.
Okay. So just north of the DFW airport is a little town called Coppell. And
Compel,
I
yep.
taught, yep, I was a director of percussion there for 96, 95 and 96. So
Really?
for 2 years I lived in Dallas, Texas and had a
The only,
blast.
the only reason I know about that city is the high school football, because
Hmm.
so many of them end up at in college at University of Texas. So,
Yeah, that's the crazy part about the Texas educational system, and I was shocked when I actually went down there. They have a great stadium. They were like a 4A school, and it's, a brick stadium football and like what would be collegiate up here in the Midwest. And
absolutely.
it's just a little high school. I'm like, holy crap. And as an indicator, I was hired as the director of percussion for the school district. If you don't know anything about the Texas school systems, right? They're crazy. Their
Hmm.
band boosters basically, hire the best people they can to do the best they can for their bands, just to reflect the best football that they can throw out there. So it is a different culture there, and it's
It is.
fascinating.
I was when I was living in Austin, I was the president of the Leander ISD Foundation.
Okay.
And, yeah, I'm familiar with how crazy the Texas schools are.
Yeah, I love it. There, it's great, but
Yeah,
as a result, I couldn't when I got married. So I proposed to my wife, and we were like, "Well, I don't have insurance. You have insurance. Why don't I relocate back to Michigan, and then I'll drag you to Nashville as soon as we can get on our feet as a young married couple." So that's what happened.
And what year was this?
96.
96. Okay. Yeah, I got
We're-
married in 90, so about the same time.
Okay.
Very cool. So you mentioned some people you're working with in the Owners Club.
Yep.
Who is it that you want to work with? You know, you saw them at Monterey and they're doing these
Hmm.
amazing things, and you go like, man, I really want to work with so and so. Who would
Yeah.
that one person be?
That one person right now is Matt Poachman. So
Okay.
Matt and I crossed paths at the first deal maker, and he was presenting, I was presenting, so we had a time to actually converse a little bit. And he recently put out his offering for his mobile home parks, and his presentation and his deal structure really rings and resonates with my personality.
How
So
so?
I was impressed.
Tell me
Well,
more.
he's got it structured. If Matt, forgive me if I butcher this, but he's got it structured so that if when you come in, you're an 80/20 partner, you're sitting on the
Mm,
80% side and he's sitting on the 20% side. And once you've made X, amount of returns on that, the structure flips so that it's more his advantage, but you've already made your money
yeah.
and then you carry a 20% in perpetuity, right? So I'm like, that's great. You're forward leveraging the people that are coming in at risk for you, and because he's got no need for cash flow, right? So like where I am at in my life, I need cash flow. He's at a little bit different stage in his life, so he's structured his deals so that he's really benefiting the people that are coming on board and then flipping it 5 years or 7 years down the road for them and but allowing them to carry in perpetuity at that 20% level, which screams to my being. I'm a buy and hold guy, and I want to hold in my mind. I want
Hold
to
on
hold
to it.
forever, right? It's
I love that setup. That's amazing. You
yeah.
need
So
to
that
come
sounds
to
great.
the podcast and tell us about it because I want
Yeah.
to join.
Gina Weeble's another one that's got a great structure going on. I've talked to her and would love to get involved with her on some stuff too, because don't ask me to recount how they were structuring, but it really struck me as that was very inventive and I liked it a lot. So I want to circle back around when I'm liquid and put some money in with Gina too.
Yeah, it's, you know, that's the best part of creative finance and the deals that come across to us and we give each other deals and invest with each other is there's some fun things you could do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who you haven't talked to, you just haven't had a chance. So if they're listening, they can reach out to you.
Okay. Now you're going to stretch my brain, right? So
Hmm. Of course.
who haven't I talked to about doing a deal that I think I would like to talk to about doing a deal? Um, I'll tell you somebody that I know that we haven't talked about doing a deal yet. Okay. And I like him quite a bit. Norm Fuller.
Okay.
Um, yeah, he's doing some luxury stuff down in the Arizona area. And that whole concept of doing luxury stuff as opposed to bare bones or, scraping the bottom of the pile for investment and then rehabbing it. Um, that's fascinating to me. And Norm and I have crossed paths a bunch of times and we've talked and we're very friendly. But I would love to talk to him more about deals, right? So,
I'll text them, tell them, hey, reach out to James. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, I love Norm. Norm is great, fellow pilot.
okay.
It's awesome. So what are you excited about in the next? I mean, what is your, immediate focus in the next 12 months and what are your
Yeah.
needs? And then
Immediate
later on, we'll
focus.
talk about the Mount Everest.
Okay. Immediate focus right now is trying to figure out the money aspect and scaling, right? So lining up the private money partners or lenders and figuring out a process to do that to scale quickly. Haven't quite figured that out yet. I think I have all the knowledge, but actually like putting the Lego pieces together and doing it repeatedly, I have
Hmm.
not, I have not gotten to a point where I'm comfortable doing that yet.
Yeah.
So hunting down and finding private money partners that will come in repeatedly is my objective right now.
Okay.
So
And
like,
if they
yeah,
want to
what,
reach out to you, if people have private money, they want to reach out and they want to work with you, a genius drummer.
Yep.
How would they reach you? Do you want
Well,
to
let's see, down
share
here
your
in my
phone
little
number?
down here in my little name plate, you've got my name, phone number, and email address.
There you
But
go.
yep, phone number 615-293-3786. That's 695-293-DRUM.
I love
Um,
it.
which is a
Yeah,
perfect phone number for being a Nashville drummer, right? So
yeah.
jpmyob@yahoo.com. So, or James Gets Real. Oh, this side. James Gets Real is my YouTube channel. So,
Awesome. And do you want to share your social media handles so where people can reach you and DM you?
yep, James Gets Real. James underscore gets
Everywhere, huh?
underscore. Yep, that's this. I tried to use the same thing everywhere, so it was pretty ubiquitous.
Awesome. Yeah, I tried to do that, but I had trouble with X. I couldn't remember the password of the Sean Ziari at Sean Ziari, so I had to create a new one. So
Gotcha.
yeah. Well, that's so cool. One of the things that we do at Owners Club, Pace and Jamil, um, we talk a lot about Mount Everest. For those who don't know, it's basically, well, first of all, you tell me what is Mount Everest to you, and then tell me what is your Mount Everest.
Sure, sure. Mount Everest to me obviously is well, not obviously, but for me, it's a 5-year plan. It's a 5-year large goal that you set out in front of yourself in order to achieve or accomplish. It's not something that you can tackle right away, but it's something that you want to strive for. So my particular Mount Everest, I mean, I have about three of them, but the one that we're defining and using inside of Owners Club is what I call my 20 and 20. And my goal was to have 20 doors in each of 20 cities.
20 cities. You already know the 20 cities you want to?
I do, from Lansing, Michigan, all the way down to Pensacola, Florida. There's the 65, 69 highway corridor that travels there. So I got,
Yeah.
Lansing, Jackson, Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, uh, Bloomington, excuse me,
Yeah.
Louisville, Bowling Green, Nashville, all the way down to Pensacola. If you can see behind me, I've got a map here with little stick pins in it. But yeah, so I got my 20 cities outlined, and the initial uh, Mount Everest entailed doing assisted living, having each of the clusters of 20 drive an affordable assisted living center
Mhm.
for aging adults. Um, Over the course of this first year of doing Owners Club, though, I found out that I did not know enough about assisted living to actually jump in and do that. So from a, first year standpoint, I had to obviously we've got the huge goal out there, 20 and 20. But I have to go back and get my systems and processes in so that I can actually acquire 20 in each city, which to your point, what I'm finding is my challenge or my sticking point or what I need right now is to figure out how to do those repeated processes and have the PML, PMPs lined up so I can do the acquisitions and go in and do the renos and get that little pod of things up and running so that I can take some of that profit and spin it into an assisted living, either center or housing that is driven with that.
In all 20 cities or just one giant?
Yeah. Well, the goal would be all 20 cities, right? So what ended up happening, Sean, is I jumped into a couple rental properties here and I ended up putting an old friend in one of my units. He needed a place to stay and he was not in great health, but he wasn't in deteriorating health. But
Hmm.
over the last 3 years, it's just turned out that his mobility has gone downhill very quickly, and
Hmm.
he can't afford to get into a living facility, right? So he needs some assistance, right? So therefore, the affordable assisted living um, became a need, and it's funny that the more I learned about his issue of finding some place to get into, because my place is not ADA compliant, right? There's no way I can convert without
Hmm.
doing a major renovation, you
Sure.
know, other than doing handrails in the bathroom, which is he's already gone beyond that, right? So he's in a wheelchair and he's in a small two-in-one that really wasn't built for a wheelchair, right? So you get doorways and hallways that do not make uh, ambulatory navigation inside of a wheelchair actually work, right? So it's like, man, I got to find you a place, or you have to help me find you a place that actually is beneficial for you. And the more I dug into it, the more I saw that it was an actual huge need out there, right? So when Pace brought up the Mount Everest, and of course everybody was doing stuff inside of the real estate realm, I'm like, well, what can I do? What has my interest right now? Where do I see a need, right?
Mhm.
And that was hitting my daily life because I take him to his doctor's appointments and to the grocery store. I'm basically, you know, extra caretaker to him, and in addition to my own family. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, so that was the whole reason behind that. And I'm sure that exists in other places other than mid-Michigan, right? So it's got to
Yeah,
exist everywhere. To answer your question, yes, every pod of 20 should get at least one assisted living spinoff in that to help that area.
absolutely. There's a need in almost every city for that.
Yeah,
So I like the fact that you selected your 20 and send me the list of 20 and we'll have it in the description below. And anybody that wants to reach out to you, they can just
sure.
look at this podcast and pick out your name and phone number and reach out to you.
Perfect. They
Yeah.
are all defined in my buy box, by the way, jamesbuybox.com. If you want to go, jamesbuybox.com.
Okay.
All
Awesome. You
right.
got a buy box. You got a thing. So yeah, please share that and we'll post it for you.
All
That's
right.
very cool. So we've talked about who you want to work with, and we've talked about your immediate need and your, 5-year goal. Tell me, how has Owners Club changed your perspective on business?
Okay. It
I know you
changed.
started, yeah, you said you
Yeah.
mentioned
No,
SquadUp.
no, change might be a not quite the right word. Let's say refocused. Okay. So as a musician, in my younger years, that's very entrepreneurial, right? I grew up in a family where my father was the son of an immigrant, right? So his whole mentality was entrepreneurial. I was raised in an entrepreneurial family.
Mhm.
However, as you go through life, certain things happen that change your perspective. And when I got married, I'm not blaming it on my marriage, but when I got married, I got very involved in I have to make my marriage life and the family and the household secure. So I got distracted by the 9 to 5, right?
Mhm.
Went out and found a day job, which happened to be computer programming, happened to be very good at that, happened to also to be happening at 96, right, when the internet is taking off. So it was a very lucrative field to get into. But at the same point in time, it squashed all my entrepreneurial endeavors because I became a slave to the 9 to 5 and ended up wearing the golden handcuffs, which I still currently have on, and I
Mhm.
hate it, and it's very frustrating for me. So, the whole real estate thing came about, and I was looking at it as a way to augment my retirement because, again, being a musician earlier in life, didn't save for retirement, didn't have a lot
Mhm.
of stuff going on there. So late to the game on the retirement aspect of it. Um, my wife happens to be a stroke survivor, so there's some extra care issues that have to go into our life going forward. So when Pace launched Owners Club and I jumped into that, it really or is in the process of refocusing my ability to go out and do things in an entrepreneurial vein for myself, right? Where
Mhm.
before I was literally married to the 9 to 5, and then of course the stroke came along, and our lives were basically, rearranged. And I kind of had settled in over the last 14 years of dealing with caretaking with my wife. We had settled into this is our life. It's going to be
Mhm.
this, right?
Mhm.
However, that first SquadUp summit, I was 56 at that point in time. And I'm like, there is so much that I can still do in life. I'm still very healthy. I am still very healthy, right? Even though I
Mhm.
have responsibilities. And as a unit, my wife and I have some limitations. I'm like, I kind of gave up on life 10 years ago or 11 years ago when my wife had her stroke. I don't want to say I gave up on life, but I literally redefined this is what it's going to be. And I was fine with that. I was content with that. But as life went on and we find that, she's really much more mobile and capable as time goes on than we either one of us expected. Um, I was sitting there going, oh, I want to do something. I feel like I need to be doing something. And I didn't know what it was until we got, involved in real estate. And then Pace came along and uh, you know, when
Right, the right person at
Owners
the
Club
right time.
launched, yes. So that really kind of lit that fire under my again. So it's reinvigorated my earlier aspirations to do things for myself. Okay. Now it's not been a quick journey. It's not like flipping a switch going, oh, okay, I'll just get back into that, right? I'm dealing with 20 years of the 9 to 5 mentality and the whole compute. Okay. If you don't know, as a musician, we don't do things until we practice it 1,000 times and then you go
Yep.
out and you do something, right? Which is not actually conducive to starting companies or running businesses where you have to fail forward. That add to that 20 years of me computer programming and being involved in logic thinking and analysis. I analyze all the time. I overanalyze everything. So I have this habitual, 40 years now of habits that I need to
Overthink.
break
Yeah.
in order to get back to where I was at 2022, right? Where I was just a total go-getter. If you would have found me at 24, I was ready to go out and conquer the world. I didn't have a problem going anywhere by myself, doing everything and meeting people but I'm 58 now and I've got baggage and I don't want to call it baggage, but
You have
what
responsibilities. Yeah.
yeah, what Owners Club really has done is gone, okay, this is what you need to do. And now, but this is what you've been doing, right? So there's this disjunct of, holy crap, I didn't realize that I had accumulated so much baggage, all
Hmm.
these responsibilities, all these thought processes, right? And just the way that you're supposed to get stuff done um, is really boxed me in. And I didn't really understand it until we started analyzing a bunch of things, right? The calendar series and Owners Club really, really was very helpful for me, right? I was a
Hmm.
very much a fly by the seat of my pants person earlier in life, right? Wasn't a list maker. My wife was
A
very much a
true
list maker.
artist. You
Yeah.
artists are always the same. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're creative. You figure you'll figure it out, and you do sometimes. But the calendar thing has really straightened my ass out. I mean, I almost live by that now. I still there's a
Absolutely.
little bit of flexibility in it, but yeah, man, that was a real eye opener. I wish we would have led with that one, right? It came about, or I think around September. But anyway, I'm not poo-pooing the progress because the entire first year of Owners Club was much more of a redefining myself to be who I think I want to be, right?
Hmm.
And this calendar year, this 2025 calendar year, was taking the networking that I had done in the first year and implementing it, right? So the goal this year was purchase one property per month was the small goal, right? And I was on track for that up until about mid-May.
Hmm.
And it's slowed down a little bit since then, and my pipeline has dried up a little bit. But um, you know, man, I hit the road hard in January with Dealmaker. A lot of good came out of that. A lot of good networking came out of that. John and I got involved in 2 fix and flips down in Detroit. I had fix and flip what was going to be a fix and hold here in Michigan, but I decided to flip it so that I can liquidate and put some money into Matt's deal. So I'm pivoting quite a bit this year, but I'm trying to keep the wheels moving, right? So
You're moving forward. Yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome. The cool thing I've found out about Owners Club is there's someone in the room that has done what you're looking for. I love the fact that you're doing 2020, and I've heard this from many Owners Club members. They're actually looking at the same thing. They're looking at a problem, which is a huge problem, which is where is affordable senior living?
Mm.
And there are going to be a lot of people who would be interested in working with you saying, hey, I want to help James with the 2020 because I have a family member or I know someone who is in that predicament. By the way, how's your wife doing right now? I
She's
meant that.
doing fairly well. I mean, we have to deal with every now and then she might have a little bit of a seizure, but for the most part, we've got the meds balanced out and She's doing all right. She's mobile.
Oh,
She can drive,
oh,
which
really?
was,
Nice.
that was a big thing, was getting her to the point where she can drive. And, so she's got some autonomy.
Yeah, and thank God for Uber and
Yeah.
the other drive companies. Well, I'm glad. What is her name?
Her name is Sandy.
Sandy. Hi,
Yep.
Sandy.
She's
Well,
very
we're
charming. She's,
praying and sending you lots of happy thoughts and healing and get you back up and going. Uh,
yep. She's met a bunch of the people in Owners Club. Like I said, she comes down to the Detroit meetups when I get down there. So,
nice.
as Pace pointed out, use your spouse to get out and network for you. And, my wife Sandy she's very much a people person.
Yeah.
So the stroke has slowed her down from socializing, but when you put her in a social situation, she's very, very social. So,
Sounds like you and I have married up. So
oh yeah,
my wife is definitely the smartest person I've ever met, and it's awesome. So I just let her loose, and she's amazing. But sounds
excellent.
like Sandy's the same. So that's very cool. Uh, besides, sorry, I'm going to cut out all these uns and uns. Yeah,
Have
it's
AI
really
do it for you, right?
yeah, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and I've been going since 6 this morning. I'm loving this. This Owners Club podcast has been so good. I get to meet amazing people like you, and it was a very selfish thing. It was like I really want to meet the all 530 people the other. So it's a big goal, but I'm
It is a
excited.
big goal.
Yeah, I can do it. So tell your friends in the Owners Club, people you work with, to sign up because I really want to learn about their business and who you're working with and how people that are listening to this podcast can connect with them and, maybe be a PML or a PMP for them. So,
There
but
you
for those
go.
who are listening and are not into real estate as much, they're just curious about owners and business owners. What's a PML and what's a PMP? If you want
Sure,
to.
sure. PML is a private money lender. Okay. And basically that's anybody with money can lend money to somebody else that needs money, right? So it's just a formal agreement where you agree to lend somebody money at a certain return rate.
Hmm.
That would be a private money lender. In our particular area, we're real estate investors looking to borrow money from people to use their money to invest and give them returns based on, backed by real estate. Where
Yeah,
it differs from a PMP or private money partner is the partner actually has equity in the deal. So they come in with their money, but they actually have equity in the deal as opposed to just expecting a return. So if I borrow $10 from you and you want $1 juice on top of it, right? So I'd give you back 11 on top of your 10. That would be a loan. If you
yeah,
say, I'm going to buy this car and I need to borrow $100 to get this car from you, but I'll let you, use the car whenever you need to use the car, and I'll put your name on the title, then you have equity in the car and you have use of that. We'll talk about it in property terms. That becomes you have depreciation equity, you also have appreciation equity, and you'll get part of the returns. So that's the difference between a loaner and a partner.
and that's different. I know, of course, I know this, but that's different from a fund. You don't have a fund where people can just give you money and say, "Go do your 2020."
Correct. I have not done the fund yet,
Okay, so
mostly
you're just
because,
doing pure JVing together,
yep,
partnering up.
yep,
Awesome.
JV, again, for the people listening that might not know, JV is joint venture, right? So it's just a piece of paper that says we are partnering on this particular entity to do something, right? Or
Yeah,
this particular project to do something, as opposed to you coming on my entity as a owner in a company or an LLC together. We could buy a piece of property as a joint venture together,
nice. Yeah,
and not be tied. Yeah. So,
that's where I got started. I was a PML first before I did anything else. So
okay. Yeah.
there
I
was
will probably
we
get to the
have
point,
preference
Sean, where I
for
have a fund, but I don't have one yet. So,
we're gonna have to put that in your toolbox in the future.
yep. Yep.
So that's
Just
awesome.
another thing to learn, right? This whole real estate investment thing has got a lot of moving pieces to it. So
James,
when
Find the person, not keep learning and
Right.
analyzing. You got to find the person. There's someone in that room at the owners club that has the answers. What does Pace say? Someone has the map to
Somebody has
your.
the map to your treasure. Yeah. So,
Oh, so
and
true.
I
So
totally
true.
agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Um, the price tag is worth it as long as you do something with it. So,
Hmm. Hello.
what else you got, Sean?
Oh, okay.
Anything?
I'm sorry. You were quiet. I
That's all
was.
right.
No, I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to talk about? We've talked about your immediate needs. We've talked about Mount Everest.
Yep. Yep.
Is
Now
there? Go ahead.
it's funny because I pulled Norm's name out of a hat. And it's true. I would love to do a deal with Norm because I find what he's doing fascinating. And it's ironic that I know him well enough that we we always seem to, when you get into a room of 500 people, we always cross paths. There are people in Owners Club that I haven't met, and that's the weirdest thing about Owners Club. The first year there was, 400 people, and by the time we got to Boston, I thought I pretty much had everybody's face known, if not everybody's name, right?
Hmm.
Um, we get to Boston, and half the people there are like faces I didn't even recognize, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? How is this
Right. I felt the
possible, right?
same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that they were new, it's just that they didn't maybe come to the first event or whatever, or they were in a part of the room where I didn't get to. Because again, we do get into a room and we will tend to gravitate towards faces that we're familiar with, right?
Hmm.
So, um, it your question to me of who is in the group that I might like to get to know or do a deal with, I don't know. And that's you brought it up, and I'm circling back around to it just simply because now I'm actually going to have to go and find somebody, right,
Yeah.
that I don't know that is doing stuff that I'm curious about or would like to get involved in and make a point of doing that. To your earlier question, Matt and John Pickell and those people that I've mentioned, I got into their sphere specifically because I wanted to, right?
Hmm.
So I'd already done the question that you asked, but now I should go find somebody new, right? And this
Sure.
is new. I don't know you, Sean. I mean, I saw you get up in Monterey, right, and basically steal the microphone, being the presence that you were. It was great. So I'm like, that's an interesting personality. I knew it when you did that. So I'm like, okay, that's really great. I should meet him, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
then
want to meet that loud,
yeah,
obnoxious
no, no, no.
Middle
It was
Eastern
funny
guy.
because you had presence, okay, and you knew
I
what you knew,
appreciate it.
and you knew what you wanted to do, and I'm like, okay, I should probably meet him. And the
Yeah.
irony was that, Jeff and Lori were sitting over my shoulder, and we had literally just met because we sat next to each other. So
Right.
we were talking, and the minute um, Rich got up on
Yes.
stage and said accountability partners, right? Jeff texted me. I'm like, hey, sure, I'll do an accountability group with you. Absolutely. He's like, well, we want to pull Sean in too because he's a pilot also. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
ironically, he was just up, in front of the room with everybody, and I tried to make a mental note that I should probably get to know him. And here we are talking a week later. So that's
Well, I love
that's
it.
great.
This is the point of the podcast is it's my selfish excuse to get to know everybody and work with someone
I did the
that
same thing.
yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you, and I will be there for the accountability meeting next Sunday from
All
Japan.
right.
I don't know which city I'll be in, but I'll try to dial in.
Domo
Hopefully,
arigato, right? Have you been to Japan before?
I'm sorry.
Have you been to Japan before?
Yes, my wife and I went 3 years ago. She went because of work. She's a chief medical officer for a health group here in town, and they sent her to Japan to learn executive training through the
Okay.
Toyota. Uh, it's through Toyota, and but they invite people from around the world in different industries and talk about management. So it was an amazing trip. My wife was in meetings and going to the factories and just learning from these amazing people. I was just walking around with headset and just enjoying the cities and just watching people. The
You'll
most
probably
amazing.
really enjoy the curated tour. I've been to Italy numerous times, but we did a family gathering
Mhm.
with a curated tour. And I'm like, I've been to Italy many times. I know what's going on. But having the
Is your
tour,
family from Italy?
oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yep,
What part
yep.
of
So
Italy?
Cosenza, down
Cosenza.
towards the what would be the top arch of the boot, right? So the
Okay.
southern part of Italy. Yeah, very cool. I've been down there. We've gone to family, weddings and whatnot. I went and met my long lost cousins. The
Nice.
Saw the family farm where my grandfather left in the 1920s. Yeah, so
Very cool. It's a beautiful area.
it
Yeah.
is.
I love that whole area. I haven't spent enough time there. So that's probably going to be our next trip, my wife and I, just do a little Italy trip or Greece.
Yep. I think
Um,
Ireland's next on my wife's list with me. So
yeah, I
we
think
will
I think we've decided on Turkey for some reason this Christmas. I don't know why, but
Christmas turkey.
yeah.
Well, how can you go wrong?
Oh, James coming in with the puns.
Yeah, I hope you don't.
So I should go on Thanksgiving then.
Sarcasm is thick with this one, so
Maybe I should go on Thanksgiving to Turkey and not Christmas, right?
possibly.
Yeah. See, this
All
is why
right.
we're meeting.
But yeah, just spitballing here, right?
Yeah, right, right. All right. I gotta let my wife know we can't go during Christmas. It has to
All
be
right.
Thanksgiving.
All right, Sean. I gotta actually head over to a tenant's place and go
Thank you so much.
and go over an
Yeah,
issue.
yeah, I'm late as well. We came in late. I do want to ask you a question, but let's do that some other time. I'll text you
Okay.
the question
Yeah,
and you can
absolutely.
answer it and we'll put it in the podcast. James, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you,
I
Sean. I
really
appreciate you,
enjoyed it.
man. It's good to
Yeah.
meet you.
Please tell everybody else in the Owners Club to come on the show and tell us about what they're doing.
I'll get on a list right now and start pumping out. Hey, get on
And
Sean's podcast.
absolutely. And send me a list of that 20 cities. So maybe somebody will be your PML or PMP.
All right, will do. Thanks,
Thanks,
Sean.
brother.
Bye.
Take care. See you.
Bye.
Hey there. You made it. Thank you for watching or listening to this podcast. Now that I have your attention, do me a favor and subscribe and follow us and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode. Comment below. Let us know what you found interesting and follow us on Instagram at Sean Ziari.